All right. So thank you for joining me for the first of this 11-month coaching program. There's a few things that I kind of have to go over the beginning to just kind of get some ground rules, or not even ground rules, about how this is going to kind of work here. So I do ask that you keep the microphones muted. If you do have questions, we've got the chat box over here on the right. And if you don't have an ability to access the chat, like if you're on your phone and you can't get to it, I'm going to ask for if you have any questions, and just go ahead and unmute yourself and then ask your question then. But we've got some 40 people who are signed up for these classes right here. And I know a lot of people can't do it live, but we are still going to have a fairly decent amount of people in the group. So if we all start unmuting ourselves, it's going to turn into this crazy cacophony. And the recording, it's just going to be really distracting. So we're going to try to keep this mostly just me talking, and then we'll try to bring people on one by one, or we'll just have questions directly in the chat box right there. Now, that being said, we've got the Acuity, this scheduler that I had you guys use to sign up for everything. This is the first time we've ever used it before. So like we're ironing out these kinks just as much as you guys are. So thank you for bearing with us as we do this. As we move forward, it's going to get a lot more smooth and streamlined, and we're going to understand a lot more about how to do it. That being said, there is a 24-hour buffer around the class that if you do not sign up before that 24-hour buffer, then your codes won't work. You won't be able to sign in or schedule. So make sure that you sign up for March's class before that 24-hour buffer. So try to get that done ASAP, as soon as you can. Now, we're actually going to be moving the payment date to the 15th. That way it's uniform for everybody as well. It's just here in the beginning, it's really kind of ragtag. We were trying to get it built up and get everything started. Now that we've got it started, it's going to be a lot more uniform. Now, the Frequency Exploration group on Facebook, we are going to be hosting a chat room on the website. And so we're kind of going to try to see if we can transition out of the Facebook group. And especially for the people who don't have Facebook, that'll be helpful for you guys. But the way that this is going to work with these classes is inside of the Facebook group, I'm going to post the link that's on the website. You're going to get a password in your email, and that's going to give you the video for the actual coaching session. So today, what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you all through the energies that we're going to use to start tapping into the platinum frequencies. So today's just platinum. We're starting off with something that's sort of easier to tap into. We're not going to jump into like full frequency broadcasting or anything like that yet. We're going to start building our way up slowly, and we're going to start using each session or each coaching class and each instruction class every single month to just kind of build the awareness on what we did the month before. That way it moves in an organic unfolding type of an understanding. So again, today it's going to be the live class. We're going to have the replays for this. It's going to be put in the group. As well as the coaching session. I'm actually going to get volunteers. And so either 2 or 3 people, and we're going to figure out a time when I can sit down and actually walk you guys through a personal coaching for these frequencies that we were using. And as we do that, then you guys are going to have access to that live coaching, and we're just going to try to round robin and get like everybody in the group an actual physical personal coaching session with whatever frequency for the month is that we're going to use. The group is where we're going to base a lot of this. We're still going to be sending these out in emails for people who don't have the Facebook group, but the Facebook group, it's going to be a lot easier for us to share our epiphanies, our understandings, what we start noticing with these frequencies. And as we do that, that's what the group is all about. It's designed specifically so that as we join up here, we have this information to move forward and start doing our own work, our own understanding of what we're learning inside of the body. And then as you start noticing things, as you start figuring stuff out, the group is there for us to start sharing what we understand with each other. And this is how you actually start developing modalities. This is how I was able to create the whole entire full spectrum golden frequency energy modality. It's because I was exploring. I was figuring out what it felt like. And then if I do this, then that happens. And if I do this, then that happens. What happens if we do this? And then all of a sudden I'm noticing and logging the changes inside of my body, inside of the reality around me. And that's how you really start building these up right here. And so these frequencies that I'm going to be walking you guys through, these aren't my everyday go-to frequencies. Like my basics are the light, the laughter, and the movement, the trifecta, the mind, body, and spirit. And that right there, that's more than enough to take care of about 80% of everything that's out there. But when you start getting into higher level frequencies where you have entities that are hooked into frequencies that are very obscure and you don't know what it feels like, it's something that's very foreign to you, that's where we have to start really tuning into different ways of creating energy. And as humanity starts to really, really push the boundaries of what is possible with this type of work right here, we're opening up gateways and doorways that are allowing more possible work to happen. Things that before would be, you know, something that you'd have to meditate inside of a cave by yourself for like 5 or 6 years in order to achieve. We can start really tuning into those understandings and those energies, and more importantly, almost the experience of having done 5 years of work inside of a cave. And when we do this, it's almost like we're peeling back the layers and we're finding different layers of interference. We're finding things on the genetic level. We're finding things on the ancestral level. We're finding things in the past life connections that are dragging down. And these are very exotic type of sensations. These are feelings and frequencies that, unless you are exploring and creating and shifting brand new types of sensation inside of your body, it's almost impossible to even feel. It's just like many of you have had a session with me, and the most amazing thing about all of this is, it's like, oh my goodness, I was so tight, I was so tense, and I had no clue, but I can feel it relax now. And you start becoming aware of blockages that you didn't know you had, but once they're gone, you can become aware of them, and there's a whole new sensation of awareness that's opened up inside of that. This is very similar to that. As we start using these different frequencies, it's almost like we're tuning into a different antenna, a different receiver. And this allows us to then look at what's in front of us in a different way. And instead of using just what we know, we're starting to create sensations of things that we had no idea that we could even feel. And as we do that, that's the whole purpose of this. It's not just making yourself strong. This is almost like we're fine-tuning the ability to be aware. Instead of being able to look at one thing and see that one thing, we're fine-tuning the ability to start tuning into where it came from, why it's there, what it's doing, what's its intention, what's it connected into, what is the dimensional causality that it's inside of. And this is how you get really, really good at starting to do some not just very powerful personal work, but work with other people. This is where you start feeling things inside of yourself that each time you create these resonances and sensations, X might happen out in the world. It might happen in your body. And as you do this over and over and over again, it starts to cement in the ability of, hey, this is what's going on. This is what you can do with it. And this is what's possible with these frequencies. So I'm really excited to see how this actually works. I've never tried to show anybody any of this before. Unless it came up organically in session, and it's pretty rare. You know, normally I just teach people the basics, because anything outside of that, we start, you know, diving into the world of the universe that is so completely foreign to what we're used to in our 3D reality. And as we have a firm base inside of our 3D reality, it's much, much easier to then move out into these very esoteric frequencies and still have an understanding. So now I saw some comments here. Let me go over here. Hi all. Hello, Leah. Hello, Anne. All right. So Don, Eric, I tried to sign up for March yesterday evening and it did not show. How do I sign up for it? Money's been automatically taken out to pay for it. Also, Facebook group link does not work. Is this just my account or everyone? I will definitely look into that with the Facebook group. There should be, you know, hold on, let me go to my Zoom rooms here. These are all set up automatically. Yeah, again, you know, we're just figuring out this this platform right here, and there's a lot of really amazing things that are possible with it, but there's some things that we got to figure out too. All right, so I have one scheduled for Friday, March 15th, and that is, yeah, we're within 30 days of it. So there's a 30-day buffer as well as a 24-hour buffer, meaning that you can't schedule for the class before 30 days prior to it. and you can't schedule it within 24 hours right there. So you've got, I think it's like 29, 28 days, something like that in the meantime for that. So let me get that over here. Yes, me too, Don. Yeah, so I think you guys were trying to sign up too early. So yeah, again, we're figuring this out. Just sitting in front of your energy is making it a lot easier for me to see what is clogging my energy field and clear it out. You're too cool, thanks. So, you know, it's really kind of funny when people notice stuff like that, because it's an extension of my nervous system. And it's nothing more than awareness that I have been able to tune into and understand and then embody. And as I embody these sensations and as I embody these feelings, people who are trying to figure this work out, who are going within and trying to open up the sensations in the body to decode the body language instead of just the spoken word, you can feel it, you know, because when I talk about things, like as I was speaking about all of those frequencies right there, I was actively connecting into them. That's how I know what I am communicating about, and that's why you'll hear me kind of sit there and just turn my head, or it's because I'm feeling the frequency and I'm trying to figure out the words to create a translation so that you can start tuning into it yourself. So you know, it's really kind of fun because you get really strong on these levels the more you use them, and people start to feel that around you too. It's like we turn into suns. It's like you look at the void of space and all that darkness out there, but yet our sun is so bright, like it's not going to stop shining until it decides to stop shining, you know? And there's no amount of darkness that can crush in on the sun. And that's what we start turning into. And it's through the awareness. It's all just being inside of your observatory state. That inner observer is the most important thing that I can actually teach people, and it's simply just paying attention to either A, I like the way I feel right now, or B, I don't like the way I feel right now. But more importantly, when you don't like the way that you feel right now, you just go after it and you start changing it. You don't just be aware of it, because I say this a lot, and I'll say this many times throughout this frequency exploration class. As soon as you have awareness, you have the ability to shift it. And most people, when they become aware of something, they start describing it. They start saying, this is what that is. And it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what you feel. As soon as you recognize that either A, I enjoy this sensation, I like the way this feels, or B, I don't, you can turn what you don't into what you do. And it's all through the processing of getting your awareness of the language of light, of your body language, and building up your strength on these levels to where you can impose the brightness, that frequency of yourself into whatever darkness. And you know, darkness, it has no choice but to turn off as soon as the light's there. And the only things that do not start transmuting from that are these things that we're actually going to start looking into with this frequency exploration class. And so this is how, again, you start going really deep. It's like how you take your awareness of what is the energy, and then you start finding out with that awareness that you have the awareness of just by touching something, you can become aware of it. And so if your awareness is this ball of understanding, you're touching something on the outside of that. And as soon as you can recognize that I am feeling something that I'm connected into, even though I don't know what that is, and you tune into it and you turn up that volume dial, it's just like when I bring your attention to the gravity that's pinning you down. You knew it was there, but now you really know it's there. Just like I tune you into your clothes around your body. You know they're there, but as soon as you tune your attention into it, it's like, oh yeah, I can totally feel it. You know, that's what this is all about. It's that frequency expansion of understanding. This is the core. This is what I feel inside of me, and that gives me the awareness of the next thing. And then I get used to that, and I feel inside of that, and I can use this until it's familiar, and then, hey, there's something else that I'm touching out here. What is that? And then you turn it up, and then there it is. Then you start playing around with that, and you use that, and then that gives you awareness of the next level and the next level. And so this is how you can literally self-attune yourself. You know, we look at Reiki, and we say, well, who attuned Usui? You know, here's this guy who he figured out this really amazing light modality, and he started attuning people, and they could do it as well. You know, well, who attuned him? He did. It was through his own frequency exploration. He figured out sensations that felt good inside of himself. He figured out what caused them, and he started to do it until he was really strong at it, and then it worked for other people as well. Same process. So I think that's everything that we need to get covered here for the beginning. Let me check out the chat box real quick here. We'll be a little late, a little after 2 p.m. today. Thanks. Yeah, no problem, April. We haven't really kind of started the thing yet, but we're about to right now. So yes, you get a recording, Teresa. There is going to be a recording for this. So if you can't watch this live, it's perfectly okay. But if you wanted to ask me questions live, then that's why you have to be here. So either way, we're going to get this to you and you guys can watch it. And I've been playing around with Dropbox as well. So I might actually make this something so that you can actually download it instead of just have the YouTube video to watch or the video on the website to watch. So now, before we begin, there are some basics that we have to understand. And we're going to start off every single class by going over these basics. Mind, body, spirit. This is the trifecta that we have to truly connect into in order to start understanding the frequencies inside of ourselves. And there are so many modalities that work on the mind and the spirit level, but they are ignorant of the body level. And the body level is so simple to tap into. And as soon as you do, you can take all the modalities that you've ever learned in your life and you can apply this energy to them and you can make them so much stronger simply because now you know how to power on the energetic side. And so what we need to do is recognize that the sensations inside of the body, the bioelectric flow, this is the way that the body communicates. And what we're learning how to do is tune into the language that the body uses unconsciously underneath the surface. Now, what I mean by this is the words, your brain. This is the spoken word, the logical processing centers of the body. And when you speak on this level, you're very, very slow comparatively to what is possible. Meaning, when we think in words, it's almost like we have to type something out instead of downloading the whole entire PhD thesis worth of information in like 3 seconds. The language of light is concentrated intention, concentrated sensation and feeling and awareness, as well as the intent. And so a true communication on the light language levels to your body would be something along the lines of, I am aware of this tension that is running up alongside of my spine. I'm going to inhale and stretch these muscles open and then feel that tension relax by decreasing the Velcro, by ungluing the glue, by dropping the heavy into the earth. And as you do that, you will actually feel the musculature open up. Now, that's a body language level. That's not a language of light level. Language of light is when you do these sensations outside of the body, meaning that you become aware of things on the outside, like that is very stuck, that's very blocked over there. What I'm going to do is inhale my feeling of intention, of movement, of laughter, of light, and punch into that and start transmuting it from the very center into what I want that heaviness to feel like, which is cleanliness, which is brightness, which is openness. And it's your intention, your awareness. These are the things that we have to start tapping into. And in order to get to that level to where you can do this advanced light work, this advanced light language, which is literally just the way that the universe communicates, the way everything communicates, your words just get in the way. And once you can hook into this right here, everything is much more open. But we have to really understand the trifecta. This body language level right here, it's so super simple to tap into. All we have to do is pay attention and breathe. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run through an exercise to start bringing awareness into the body to begin with. And what I want everybody to do, let me just demonstrate the belly breathing real quick here. So this is my belly button, pelvis, solar plexus. When you inhale, you're going to completely relax everything around the diaphragm. Now the diaphragm is the whole entire bottom of the rib cage. This is that muscle that when you hiccup, it's doing this. And when you inhale, it's pulling down. And the ribs stretch up and open. It's like a vacuum. It's like a container being opened. And that's how you pull air into your lungs. And watch my belly when I do this. It's almost like a bellows. I open at the perineum. Everything opens, expands, and then I relax, and then it comes back down. Open, expand, relax, and come back down. Now, the exhale, you're working on the inhalation. Your muscles are getting tight. Your muscles are getting tense. And so when you exhale, the exact opposite is happening. It's like you have to work to inhale, exhale, completely relax and let go. Don't hold on to the air. Don't push it out. Deep breath in. And release. Let's just sink into this for the next 30 seconds or so. Notice as you're doing this that it's a cerebral pattern, meaning you have to tell yourself, deep breath in. Now let go. And while this is enough to start calming the body, your mind is still engaged in this response. This is a very simple perspective change. Stop telling yourself to breathe in and start using your inhalation to explore the sensations inside of the skin. Feeling how when you expand and open the breath, how the skin stretches over the muscles, how it glides and shifts underneath the skin. And turn these sensations up, just like you've got a volume dial attached to them. And use that inhalation almost like you're turning that volume dial. Flex your will and turn it up. Now what's happening here is more often than not, you'll start to feel tingling sensations. You'll start to feel these sensations become much more intense. And it's not that you're growing nerves in the area. You're not doing that. What you're doing is you're turning up the bioelectric flow, your focus, your intention. And start really opening up the breath, slowing down the inhalation and feeling how much more intense you can turn that volume dial up. That tingling, that buzz. This is the iron in the water of your blood, the liquid crystal that powers your body. And it's catching this bioelectric current, this flow. Deep breath in and turn that sensation up. Demand awareness. Don't ask, don't wish. Speak body language. Do. Don't speak to your body and say, I want more awareness here. Put your focus, your internal flashlight of awareness on wherever it is that you want to be inside of the body. And turn it up. Feeling the awareness blossom inside of the area. Now the process, you just opened up where there's plenty of nervous system energy inside of the skin. This brings your awareness to things that are right next to it. The same way that we use the exploration of the frequency. Now watch. Deep breath in, turning it up, and on the exhale, drop your awareness right underneath the skin into the musculature. And feel how your abdomen and your chest shift and move underneath the skin. Just like inside of the skin, flex your will and turn this up. Feel that tingling sensation starting to go deeper into the body as you begin to map out where your muscles connect, where they run through the body. Stretch that inhalation, really opening up and feeling everything shifting and moving. Very good. This deep body awareness, this is how we can feel the chi, that spark of life that animates your body, your soul. But we have to build up just a few more resonances first. Take this skin, muscle, bone awareness deep into the hips and the lower back. Take a deep, slow, probing breath. Watch how much movement is actually happening back here. Pay attention how you can't feel the bones in the same way that you feel the skin. But by paying attention to where the skin and the muscles are not, you can feel the movement underneath the clothes, the shifting of the muscles underneath the skin. Feel all the hard structural support spaces where all these muscles are connected into. Turn this up. Beginning to inhale your awareness up the spine, feeling the front of the body, the abdomen, the rib cage, everything shifting just as much as the sides, just as much as the back. And feel how you have an entire cavity that goes from the throat all the way to the pelvic floor that you're inflating and opening with each breath. Turn this up. Starting to feel how the rib cage expands and opens, how all of these muscles are straining, stretching. Deep breaths. Body language. You don't want to ask, you don't want to speak, you don't want to hope, you don't want to wish. You want to bring the awareness right to where you need it and then tell it what you want it to do by creating the sensation. Feel how your sides of your neck and your shoulders get tight and lift up at the top of the breath, literally pulling the rib cage up. Feel how on the exhale, everything relaxes and lets go. Let's start taking over the sensation. Turn that volume dial up even louder with each inhalation, and on the exhale, like you've got microscopic Velcro that's being revealed by that inhalation, use that exhale to dissolve the Velcro. And feel each out breath, that tension, that tightness, dissolving out of the musculature. Feel the jaw and the face completely relax as the mouth and the tongue lets go. Feeling how the throat softens in the chest, in the neck, mirroring the spine underneath the skull. Deep breath in, turn it up. Exhale and release. Dropping the shoulders and feeling the chest unhinge, unknot. Feel this relaxation rushing down through the body, through the spine and the hips, through all the organs in the abdomen. Feel how the hip sockets release and unknot. How the knees relax from the center all the way out, down into the feet. Turn it up. Start really using this volume dial on both ends of the breath. Inhaling and turning this up just a little bit louder with each in-breath. Using that out-breath to relax just a little bit harder, straining to let go. Very, very odd dichotomy, but easily felt once you know how to speak this language. Tell your musculature what you want it to do. Take over the default program. It's all sensation. Very good. Now what I want you to do is take that skin, muscle, bone awareness right to the nose and begin to inhale, feeling how intense the wind rushing through the nostrils actually can be. Just like we did inside of the skin to become aware of the musculature, Follow that wind back into the whole entire breath, feeling it echoing in the sinuses, flushing down through the windpipe and into the chest. Deep breaths. Feeling this wind echoing inside of the lungs, the windpipe, the face. And turn it up. Feeling that tingling sensation starting to go deep, echoing through the entire tissues of the lungs. And start to turn this up, feeling the rib cage shifting and moving around the lungs. Feeling the muscles shifting the bones, sliding underneath the skin. Feel the skin gliding underneath the clothes, and turn this full spectrum body awareness up. Releasing just a little bit harder on each exhale. Very good. And this is how you build up very strong chi flow, bioelectric fields of electromagnetism in the body. Now you need to move them with intention. Don't think about it, just do it. Grow your lungs until they expand through the entire body, into the feet and into the hands. And as you inhale, follow just as intensely through the face, the throat, and the chest. And use that inhalation to magnetically pull that tingling sensation on the wind all the way into the body, through the shoulders and the hips, the arms and the legs, right into the hands and the feet. It starts with a movement, a trickle, a something. Tune into that something, that feeling of movement, and flex your will and turn that volume dial up. Demand more movement, demand more awareness. Deep, full breaths. Noticing how this deep breathing isn't a cerebral process anymore. This is the background. This is the tool that creates the sensation. And so it goes into the automatic file. Deep breathing, feeling, turning it up. And this tingling sensation, you're moving through the body. This is literally waves of blood that you've polarized with your own energy, that you're moving through and unblocking anything stuck, anything damaged, pinched, not moving. And you're connected into so much more than just the musculature right now. Start using that exhale to dissolve that Velcro on every level. Bone, muscle, skin, lymphatic, neurological, the organs of the body. And as you do this, tune into the gravity of the earth, how it's pinning you down, pressing you into the earth. And as you release that Velcro, as you soften the body, feel anything sore, anything tight, becoming heavy and slipping right into the gravity, right into the fires of the earth. Turn it up. This is that deep body awareness that's needed. Now that you can move your blood flow, this is that body connection. This is where so many people, they know there's more. This is where that more is. And we can put anything that we want into this. But first, I'm going to show you all how to open up an energy center. I like to use the lower dantian specifically because it's near the intestines, which are connected into the genetic knowledge of the body, as well as the psoas muscles and the neurological systems that hold on to trauma. And so as we open this point up right here, as we release trauma, as we release stuck and stagnant emotions, that is an automatic way to lift your vibration up through the roof right there. And so this is one of my favorite places to actually use when I start opening this up and showing people how to do it. And the other reason, the lower dantian, this is like a storage tank. If you, in your spare time, start inhaling flows of light, of laughter into this area, and you absorb it like a sponge, you're building up your storage ability so that when you do need your energy, it's immediately there. You don't have to build it up. And when you're done with this work, I actually advise people not to ground out, specifically because you're making the energy leave. What you can do is ground out the heavy energy, just like I showed you with this breath and this heaviness and this dropping into the earth. But what you want to do is pull all the light, all the happiness, all the joy right back into its storage tank so that you can release it instantly when you need it. It's a very powerful, powerful energy center. Now, what we're going to do with this, pretend that this ball underneath your belly button, right in the core of the body, is about, the size of a tennis ball. And you're going to inhale that feeling of the wind into this tennis ball. And it's like it's a sponge, and you're absorbing energy into it. And on the exhale, what you're going to do with it is like this ball is blossoming open like a flower. You're going to feel it bud at the top and then bloom down and around the sides. And this is how you open up toroidal energy inside of the body. We're inhaling into the ball, and we're exhaling and blooming and blossoming this open. And let's spend a good 5 or 6 breaths here, really moving as much as we can, as powerful of sensation, as much of movement, as much tingling into this as you can, and force that sensation of opening, that blossoming. It starts again with the trickle, with the something. Turn it up. Feel how much more blood flow is immediately moving through the lower back and the kidneys and the abdomen. Turn this up. And now what we're going to do is start tapping into joy, to happiness energy. And this is really easy to do. We just got to understand the mechanics of it. When you stand in a power pose, my favorite, Superman or the Wonder Woman position, shoulders thrown back, hands on hips, head up straight, almost like you're wearing a crown of light. And if you stand like that for 5 minutes or more, you're going to start to feel like amazing. You're going to feel confident. You're going to feel powerful. And the reason for this is the body will never naturally stand like that unless you feel that way. And if you stand like that, your body is going to recognize the imbalance, and it's going to start recorrecting that, because if you stand like that, you're supposed to feel like that. And so it makes it happen. We're going to do the exact same thing with the smile. Your smile is not your happiness. Your smile is the response to the feeling inside of you that feels happy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to hack the smile into the body through this bioelectric current that we just opened. Now, what I want you to do is put a gentle smile on your face. And as you inhale, you know what the wind feels like. You know what that tingling sensation feels like. Pull the feeling of the smile deep into this lower dantian and blossom it open, and pay attention for that extra, that feeling, that sensation of something different. And feel how this is already starting to soften. It's starting to relax tension that you didn't even know was there. And turn this smile energy up. Force that feeling to blossom through anything stuck. And start using that exhale to grow this energy center, making it bigger. Using each exhale to blossom just a little bit more sensation, to inhale deeper with that smile energy and blossom it open bigger until you get everything from the bottom of the heart all the way down to the pelvic floor. Turn this up, feeling that smile, how It didn't feel real to begin with, but it's starting to feel real now. Deep breathe that softness, turning up that tenderness, paying attention for a feeling of fluttering inside of it. It's almost like a butterfly gently flapping its wings. And if you don't feel that, make that sensation happen. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean that you can't. It means that you have to tune into it. And we tune into it by making the sensation happen. And inhale that smile energy, and as you turn it up, tune into that soft fluttering and start to turn this up louder and more intense until it begins to echo and vibrate, and then it bursts into laughter. I always like the laughter of my kids. Like a 3 or a 4-year-old child, that belly laughter, that hysterical, like I'm being tickled and I can't help myself laughter. Feel that echoing inside of the wind that you're moving through, that tingling sensation, that awareness in the body. This is the spirit. This is the emotional side. And when we're dealing with entities, with implants, with parasites, they are always going after nasty emotions. And this field that you're creating inside of the body helps you become aware of where things are stuck. And so before we move into the light frequencies, I'm going to show you how to start tuning into these. And this could be something that you have a program of anger or sadness or depression, and it's just always there underneath the surface. Or this might be something that there are very specific traumas in your past that were creating these sensations. And it's the same process to get rid of it. What I want you to do is to start turning up the flow of this laughter and this movement, not just in the energy centers, but inhaling into the hands and inhaling into the feet. And as you do this, you know right where your bones, your muscles, and your skin is. Inhale through the very center of the body to the very outside of the body. And as you do this, you're saturating your body with what you want, what feels good. Anything that is not of that resonance is going to start poking its head up. It's going to start getting sore, heavy, uncomfortable. It's going to refuse to laugh. It's going to get angry. It's going to get serious. It's going to draw back on itself. And this is how we become aware of blockage that's holding our vibration down, that's causing physical tension and pain. Wherever this might be, whether it's in the head, the chest, the abdomen, it might even be in your hand or your foot for all I know. These things pop up in all kinds of odd places. But wherever it might be, begin inhaling into it with a sharp breath, almost like you're leading with a point. And put this inhalation right into this hard space and lead with that laughter. Turn that smile energy up. And recognize we're not going to wage war inside of the body. We're going to recognize where there already is war, and we're going to bring peace. Start spinning that inhalation, almost like you're creating a tornado, and drill into that hardness. And it's like that inhalation is punching into steel. On the exhale, force that steel to blossom open like a flower, and drop the heaviness right into the earth. And rinse and repeat, inhaling that laughter, turning that movement, that tingling, that smile energy up. Exhale and blossom it open, feeling how that hardness becomes liquid, heavy. Let it drain right into the fires of the earth. Using that exhale to not just blossom open, but to turn up the gravity as well. Not just dropping heaviness into the gravity, but feeling it actively sucking out of you. Very good. And this is how you start tuning into high vibratory emotions, and you start cleaning out the junk from the past. This isn't a matter of if it cleans, this is a matter of when. This is the easiest way to start really going in. And as you do this, you might even have images, movies of trauma that come up. Don't let them fight with you. Observe. Don't react. Inhale what you want into these images, which is joy, which is vibrancy, which is movement. Let's start tapping into the light. On the exhale, when you blossom open, I want you to start using that tingling, that laughter as fuel for the light, opening up a brilliant golden sun right inside of where it's stuck, where it's heavy, where your attention is drawn to. And turn this up. Inhale even deeper. Exhaling and blossoming open even bigger, starting to flood the body with what you want to feel. Light, laughter, open, clean movement. Deep breaths. And release everything that doesn't serve, inhaling everything you want to see in the world. Connection, joy, excitement, love, abundance, wisdom, health, healthiness, healing, and love, love, love. Very good. Now this right here, this is the basics. This is the trifecta. The wind, this is the movement of the blood flow in the body. This laughter, this is the joy, the excitement. And it's not unconditional love, but it opens up the doorway for it. Meaning as soon as you have access to creating emotion inside of your body, you can start spreading it. So watch this. I want you to think of a time where somebody went above and beyond to help you out. When you were really stuck in a tight spot and it was purely because of a person's attention that made it so much easier for you. And if you don't have a situation like that, make one up. And start to feel that upswelling of gratitude. That thank you so much. Like, I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And turn that sensation up, not the words, but the sensation that makes you want to say thank you. Flex your will and turn that volume dial up. Pull that sensation in deeper with the smile. Feel it echoing through the entire body. Gratitude. It's a very powerful, very high vibratory emotion. The same with forgiveness. This one's not easy to tap into, especially when you have a story that's telling you why you need to feel so upset. But let's create a scenario, either one that you've experienced or a brand new one. One where you recognize the damage inside of that person and you recognize why that behavior happened. Because you've been through it. You understand it. And you recognize how damaged that person is and how in pain they are because of the things that they have done, specifically to you. Now recognize that feeling of, I don't want anybody to hurt. And if you feeling this towards me causes you pain, I forgive you. I don't want to see you in pain. Nobody needs to be in pain. I forgive you. And tune into that sensation that makes you want to say that and turn it up. And start broadcasting that forgiveness energy at yourself. Inhaling it through your bones, your muscles, your skin. The ability to create what you want to feel is absolutely priceless. And even if it's not strong right now, these are the basics. The more you practice with this, the stronger it gets. And even if you can't see the light, the mind level, the frequency level, you can intend light. And that right there, if you can't visualize, it's perfectly okay because you can feel. And if visualization is hard for you, when I say visualize a zebra, you don't see a zebra, but you can still think zebra. You can still think brilliant golden light. And that right there, it's really going to start opening up the doorway for you to expand the spectrum, to expand your awareness of it. And if you find that you want to see the light internally and you can only feel it, but you can't see it yet, you've got a brilliant golden sun that's just hanging out every day for us. That if in the morning you watch the sunrise or in the evening you watch the sunset, you've got a beautiful example that you can start inhaling through your eyes and pulling that sensation into your body. Any time of day, you can close your eyes and look up towards the sky, and you have this brilliant golden tapestry, this platform that you can then start using to really pull inside of the body. And that right there, this is how we start really opening up that doorway. This trifecta, this is how we clean everything out. But the thing is, if we have the tools and we don't use them, they are not effective. We can't just know this, we have to apply it. And this is what this coaching series is all about right here. You're going to have homework. We're going to be doing this every single day. We're going to have at least 5 to 10 minutes a day where we're practicing with these frequencies. And what I just walked you guys through right there, I'm probably going to actually snippet this. I'm going to cut it, and then we're going to have that as a video so that we don't have to go through the whole entire spectrum every single time. But this is the first time right here, and I wanted to make sure that we were all starting off on the right foot. And so for people who come in later on, we can snippet this part right here and they can practice that on their own. But as we go through the frequency exploration, we're going to be going in. This is where we're always going to start. We're going to start with the movement, with the body awareness, with the sensations of the emotions, and then the light. And so now what we're going to do is the fun stuff, what everybody came here for. What I want everybody to do, let's just go ahead and start rubbing our hands together. And as you're doing this, turn up the volume dial inside your hands. Feel how it rubs together. Feel those sensations. And stop and allow your hands to relax and feel the palms, feel the fingers. And turn up the awareness in there. We're not breathing into it yet. We're using pure focus right now. And what we're going to do now is activate our hand centers. What I want you to do, inhale deep through the nose, through the face, and we're going to apply all 3 of these resonances here. I want you to move that tingling sensation, but fill it full of laughter and make it as bright as you possibly can. And inhale right into the palms. And on the exhale, you're going to blossom open the palm, almost like you've got a golden flower that's blooming out of your hand. Let's just go ahead and lay our hands down in our lap and take a series of 10 to 15 breaths into the hands. Really turning up the volume dial. As you're doing this, just gently wiggle your fingers softly as you're inhaling, feeling how the skin is encapsulating the movement of the bones and the tendons and the muscles underneath. Just by bringing awareness to an area, you can actively turn on the energy centers in that area. And if you've never had strong energy flow out of your hands, it doesn't matter. You can make it happen. As soon as you have awareness, you have the ability to shift it. Very good. Now let's go ahead and take our hands and we're going to place them in front of us about this far apart. I usually have it right at about the solar plexus level when I do this, so I'm not putting too much strain in my muscles to hold up right here. And what I want you to do is inhale into the right hand, and on the exhale, As you blossom open the right hand, I want you to push towards the left hand, almost like you're creating wind on your exhalation, and start pushing laughter, start pushing light at the other hand over here. And pay attention to what happens in your other hand. This is the one that you're not moving energy with. You're moving it through from the other side. And start to move it around. See if you can feel that energy flowing, almost like a river. And watch how it almost washes through the skin, the muscles, the bones. Now start inhaling into the left hand as well and push back at the right hand, and stop inhaling into the right hand and do the exact opposite. Start pushing the energy to the right side. Inhaling into the hand like you're creating movement. Now inhale into both hands all together and start pushing back at each other. And what you're going to do here is feel how the energy pushes and starts creating almost like a little bubble in between your hands. And really turn up that tingling sensation. You can create it inside of you. You can move it into the hands. And then when you exhale, it's still buzzing. It's still tingling. And start creating a ball of laughter, of light in between your hands. I want you to see this sun as bright as it possibly can be. Turn this up. Now just go ahead and reach around this ball of energy and take a deep breath and hug this to the body as you pull this in. Exhale and push it out the hands, out the feet. And what we just did right there is we created a very strong resonance outside of the body. This is how you do distance work. This is how you start connecting into the reality at large around you. That feeling, that something that you just created, there are sensations inside of it, even if they're little minuscule ones. The more you tune into those little minuscule sensations and the more you turn it up, the stronger it's going to get. But what you want to pay attention to is the effects. Notice how much more open the chest feels right now. Notice how much more sensation is happening. Notice how when you take a deep breath into your abdomen, the chest, it really lights up. It really expands that tingling sensation. This is what we want to notice, is the effects of our energy work, because we can't see it yet. So we have to feel it. We have to experience what is happening. Now that you know what it feels like to tune into a big ball of brilliant golden sunlight and laughter, we're going to start tuning into platinum frequencies. Now, platinum, when we think of gold and we think of platinum, they are two metallic types of shades if we're looking at, actual metal itself. There is no distinction in the luster. It is not one that's brighter than the other and one is darker than the other. They're on the same frequency. And so it's not that we are just tuning into the frequency of sunlight. It's almost like we're tuning into the frequency of a star that isn't gold. It's a star that operates inside of the platinum frequencies. And so what I want you to do is start inhaling into your hands with only the laughter, only the movement, no light yet, and start exhaling and creating this ball in between the hands. There we go. Now on the exhale, as you blossom open in between your hands, I want you to spark that brilliant silver, that platinum light, as bright as the sunlight, just a different frequency. And as you inhale into this, it's probably going to be a little bit different to start off. Start with that something. You can feel something. Tune into it. Turn it up. Make sure it's not white. White feels very flat in comparison. Get that chrome, that silver, that platinum, and turn up the intensity until it's like you've got a sun shining on this brilliant platinum frequency. And oftentimes when I'm using platinum, I see a spectrum on the outside. It's not like the rainbow spectrum, but it is color. It's like it's creating a different type of sensation just right around it. And really just practice turning this up. And as you do this, you're going to notice a shift in your field, in your energy. It's almost like you're sitting in a bubble that is changing its sensation. And turn this up. Feel this platinum light starting to extend, like you've got a sun in your hands and it's shining through your body. It's shining into the reality around you. And I find that the platinum, it goes very, very powerful with empathy energy. If you can't tap into empathy, start thinking of a scenario where you see an animal that's got a problem with it. It's got a disease. There's something wrong with somebody. There's some situation where you see sadness, where you want to see happiness, where you want to see healthiness, and feel that I wish you could feel better. That sensation of I want you to feel clean because it feels good and you don't feel good right now. And inhale that sensation through that smile energy and turn this light up. Oh, wow. Yeah, you guys are cranking this up now. Get it. Go. Turn it up. Turn it up. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and grab a hold of this ball. Wrap around that big ball of empathy and compassion, as bright as a platinum sun, and inhale it into the chest. Pulling it into a smaller center, exhale and push it all the way out the hands and all the way out the feet. Just pay attention. Like we know what that tingle, we know what the laughter, we know what that light, that sunlight feels like, but there's such a different space. It's very similar, but it feels like it's expanded into a deeper stillness, into a more expansive softness. And what we're going to do now is we're going to inhale into the solar plexus and open it up just like we did the lower abdomen. And start moving that laughter, that movement, that tingling sensation right into the solar plexus and blossom it open and pull that laughter, that excitement, and start blossoming open this platinum ray, this brilliant platinum light. Feel how that laughter, it's no longer as wild, no longer as excited. It's almost like it's tempered with grace. Feel how that compassionate empathy energy begins to build. Soft, tender, gentle. Start really slowing that inhalation down, almost like you're gently dragging silk through the face, through the throat, and into the chest, right into the solar plexus. Very good. Really explore turning this up, feeling the effects, feeling the tenderness, soft. Very good. All right, and hold on to this. And just begin to gently, slowly starting to let it go. Go back into the shallow automatic breathing and feel what's happening inside of the body as you're not creating these frequencies. How much more open everything is. And before we start going into a bit more advanced stuff, I'm going to just open up the door for questions right here. Is there anybody who would like some more direct instruction? Is there something that's not making sense? Just kind of go ahead and type in me or unmute yourself real fast. See, that is what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Good job. Very, very good. So I'm trying to really get my coaching to the point to where I cover all bases so that we can cover all explanation of what's happening inside of the body. And it's definitely, I'm starting to get good at it. Thank you. Platinum easy, gold not so easy. Why? Okay, so what's happening here is the gold energy is much more intense. It's much more full spectrum. It's almost like the platinum frequencies are almost like a subsidiary or like a smaller piece of the pie, I guess you could say. And the gold energy is more of an encapsulative type of a frequency, meaning that it covers almost all the bases. And what we're going into are not just the spot water, or not just the general flooding. It's like we're spot watering. It's like we're taking our attention and our awareness directly to very specific frequencies and then building up strength inside of that. And so it's almost like instead of this full understanding, we're shortening it down, and it's a lot easier to encapsulate on that level right there. So one of the things that, if you can feel this platinum frequency energy, start putting color inside of it. Start seeing rainbow spectrums starting to really blossom around that, and start using that to really encompass, like I'm stretching, I'm opening, and inside of that light and that color right there, start turning up the gold. And again, you know, sometimes you have to push for these things. Sometimes it's your mind just doesn't have the expansion to encompass all the frequencies that are in there, because there's really a lot. You know, it's X-ray, gamma ray, it's ultraviolet, infrared, you know, it's solar radiation. There's so many things that are inside of those frequencies on an energetic scale that if you just don't have knowledge or awareness of them, it's like you're trying to build that awareness inside of yourself as you're forcing yourself to do it. So, you know, just keep stretching for it. It's like being in a gentle bath, shots of different colors shot through the platinum. Lovely. Yeah, it's a really interesting type of a sensation. And we're going to be going into like platinum frequencies where we're more fine tuning it like further on in the series, like magnetism and electromagnetism. That's where we start really seeing the power of these platinum frequencies. But we've got to kind of get the base for it. And it's a very solid foundation of understanding. And it's almost like as we tune the frequency and the color into different areas, it's like we can tune much more clearly into different ranges of frequency or emotion. You know, that compassion, that empathy, it's so easy to feel inside of that gentle, soft light of that platinum. It feels very mothering to me. It feels very feminine. It's almost like a gentle, like it's a gentle bath, you know. And when we can start actually integrating more than one frequency into the body, this is where we start seeing some really interesting stuff. So if we don't have any other questions, does that help with the not seeing the gold? You know, it's like weightlifting. You got to just keep pushing and then it'll work. So, you know, like it's just got to kind of get it. Thank you. As you speak, I felt the gold. Okay, so good. It just required a bit of an expansion of awareness. You know, that gold energy is so encompassing and it's so powerful, and it's really easy to lose yourself inside of it once you can feel it. But there are so many esoteric frequencies inside of it that we can really start blossoming open. And one of the things that I'm actually going to do right now is walk everybody through how to encompass both of these energies in the body at the same time. So it's oftentimes a lot easier to create things outside of the body and then integrate them and then study the sensations and then replicate them. And so what we're going to do is the exact same thing. Now, I find that the left side, my left hand, it's more comfortable with this platinum energy, and the right side's more comfortable with the gold. That's my polarity and the way that I operate. So if it doesn't feel comfortable for you on that way, if you feel like your platinum is stronger in the right, put the platinum in the right. There is no right way to do this. And if you ask me a question like, am I doing this right? My answer is always going to be, however you're most comfortable is always the right way to do it. You're not me, you know, I'm not you. I've got a different metabolism. My energy works differently than most people's. And it's because I built it this way. And, you know, it's all starting off on a very base level of understanding that this is how I want this to feel, but it might not feel that way. I might have a different way of moving energy. And so if something that I'm telling you doesn't feel like it's strong and you have another way of moving energy, move it. You know, that's your way that your body is naturally wanting to evolve. And that's what I've done, is I've just kind of found what feels right for me and I've expanded on it. And it allows me to tune into frequencies that then I can show you guys how to use too. So now go ahead and take your right hand. We're going to start now. If you're going to do platinum in the right hand, you're going to do platinum. I'm in the right hand right now and I'm going to do gold. And I'm just going to do this one to begin with. And I'm going to inhale this laughter and this joy and blossom open the palm of the hand. I'm going to light this up like the sun. And just like we were pushing all the way through the other hand, I'm going to push as hard and as far as I can out to this side, like I'm growing a big mushroom around me, like a big bubble on the left side. I'm going to light up my hand and push this out and light up that whole left half as bright gold as I can. Then go ahead and drop, bring up the other one. Inhale the platinum frequencies, or if you're on the opposite side, the gold. And push that platinum brilliant energy out, really feeling that tenderness, that empathy. And it's like I'm encapsulating myself inside of a half and half sphere. And now what we're going to do is take both of these and start pushing them at each other. And feel how the energy that you created on that first run is responding to what you're doing in the center. Push the platinum on one side, push the gold on the other side. There we go. And feel how they start to integrate. It's not like you've got a half and half now. It's like you've got, this is integrating over here, this is integrating over here, and they're mixing in the middle now. Deep breaths. Turn it up. Feel how the bubble around you is mixing, is swirling, is shifting. Turn it up. All right, now that we've got this field integration, go ahead and lower the hands and start inhaling into the bubble around you that you've just created. Almost like there is no skin. You're inhaling from the center all the way out to the edge of your field. And start inhaling that tingling, inhaling that laughter, that empathy, that gold, that platinum light, doing both at the same time. Turn this up, stronger, more intense, feeling that buzz reflecting out of you, through you. It's like you are a brilliant, brilliant gold and platinum sun. Now go ahead and relax and just sit, feel. And notice how this tingling, this buzzing sensation, it's like a field around you. You are no longer stuck inside your body. You are the field that is inhabiting the body, surrounding the body. Now, this is how we begin to integrate these frequencies into the inner and outer worlds. And now we're going to start using them in the actual energy flow inside of the body. So your central channel flows, the spine. If you're looking at somebody from the side, they're facing this way, and this is the back right here. The energy goes up the spine, over the top of the head, and down the front, and it creates a big loop. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale brilliant golden laughter up the back, and on the exhale, we're going to flush down soft platinum light all the way down through the front side with softness, with tenderness. And what I want you to do is really pretend like you've got a smiling mouth right at the tip of the tailbone and begin inhaling a smile tornado all the way up the spine and light the head up like the sun. And on the exhale, shift into the platinum and feel that soft, silky liquid flow rushing down through the front, softening the organs, the muscles, right down to the pelvic floor to inhale up the spine. Light the head up like the sun. Exhale and shift into platinum, dropping it down, lighting the pelvis up like a platinum sun, shifting into gold and inhaling up. Releasing that tenderness, that softness right down the front. Now, these are the central channel meridians, not the central channel. The central channel runs from the crown right down through all the endocrine centers of the body that everybody calls chakras. I just call them energy centers. And it goes all the way down to the perineum. And what we just did is we have softened these frequencies inside of the central channel. And now what we're going to do is light up the entire central channel from the heart space, the very center of the chest where it connects into this rod that goes all the way up. And we're going to inhale and start off with the movement and the laughter. And on the exhale, start lighting up, pushing all the way up and all the way down. And start off with a soft bar of platinum light, nice and gentle, almost like you're expanding silk through the entire center of the body. Turn up that laughter inside of it, that tender excitement. Very good. Now start feeling that bar of light as one energy center, and you're inhaling into the entire thing. This is not just the heart anymore. This is in the entire bar that connects the pelvic floor all the way to the crown. And keeping this as bright platinum as you can, begin inhaling a brilliant golden space right inside of the heart. Exhaling and starting to reach brilliant tendrils of golden sunlight through this entire bar, mixing almost like quartz and gold. Very good. All right, now start focusing specifically on turning the light up in the heart space. Make this as bright and as full of joy as you can, really cranking up that laughter energy. Now softly let that sit, keeping the bubble in the chest, and bring your attention to the lower dantian, right below the belly button, and begin inhaling that empathy, that compassion, and blossoming open that platinum silver light. Split your attention and begin inhaling into the chest and into the lower abdomen together. And on the exhale, push the platinum light up, push the gold light down, meeting in the solar plexus and roiling like a brilliant hurricane. And notice how your head is starting to move. Your head is starting to shift as you do this. And inhale into the gold light in the chest. Exhale and push, pushing down, and begin pushing up as you light up a platinum bubble inside your head. One in your head, one in your lower abdomen. Brilliant gold in the center. And start inhaling into all three of them, pushing down and up into the light, from the head down, from the abdomen up. Push from the chest into the abdomen and the head, creating brilliant, whirling, swirling tornadoes, feeling how this is echoing out around you. Stronger, more intense. Very good. Go ahead and relax. Feeling the effects of these energies. Taking your awareness through the body level. Noticing how much softer everything feels. Noticing that if you do have pain or tension, it's very, very diminished, if not completely gone. It's almost like you've opened up a blood flow underneath the surface that you can bring your awareness to any point inside of your body, and you can feel it very intensely. Case in point, tune into your right foot and the outside of your pinky toe. And turn up the awareness, noticing how you don't even have to move now, and you can feel the bones, you can feel the muscles, you can feel the skin. Tune into the emotional level, asking yourself, how do I feel right now? Feeling that content, satisfaction. It's not like you need anything. It's like you're already full. It's not that you're super excited and polarized and jumping around like a little kid. You're happy, yes, but it's centered. Notice how the mind is completely silent. It's like being inside of an empty cave by yourself. Now let's play with full integration. I want you to begin inhaling all the way into the hands, all the way into the feet, just like we started, following through the nose, the face, and turning up that awareness, that breath, that movement, and feeling that tingling sensation rushing all the way through the body. Putting a gentle smile on the face and focusing on pulling that smile energy deep. And start using that exhale to blossom open the entire body, releasing weight, releasing into the gravity, dissolving that Velcro. getting a very strong base, a foundation to hold a powerful light. Feeling how the head, the chest, and the abdomen are responding just to this. And now let's light this up like the sun. Beginning to inhale 50-50 platinum gold frequencies. Feeling how it makes the gold not brighter, but much more intense. Feeling how it makes the platinum not softer, but much more active. It's like an active receptivity. It's like an awake hibernation. Last few breaths, starting to really stretch as bright and as strong as you can. Exhaling and releasing everything that's not of the light, of the laughter. Oh, I wish you guys could see what I see right now. You have cleared out so much, so much. Like, this was really a powerful, powerful energetic group session. I didn't expect it to turn into that, but wow. That was absolutely amazing, you all. Like, you guys did so brilliant. That was just so beautiful to lead you through. Wow, just wow. I wish I could see what you see too. Let me describe this. So it's almost like wherever we're at in the world, we've got people all around the world right now. We've got South Africa, we've got the UK, we've got Australia, we've got Canada. I believe we have one person from South America. And it's like, as you were all following the energy and tapping into these frequencies, you were creating a buzz in your field that it was like electricity that was arcing to other people using these same frequencies. And it's like those arcs got bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's this massive field of light that was created that is worldwide right now that you all just literally made. Now, that being said, I didn't expect everybody to jump into a group session like that. So we have to really make sure that we're not sharing anything with each other, because, you know, we still have stuff that we all have to clean out. And we don't want to go passing those on to other people. So what I want everybody to do is, when you inhale, I want you to feel your gravity. Pull yourself into you. This is what's mine is mine. And on the exhale, push the anti-gravity of everything that's not you out. What's yours is yours. And start creating a very firm, solid bubble between your reality and everybody else's. We can interact with each other, but we don't have to share anything underneath the surface. Not until we've all figured this out. We're all nice and bright, and it doesn't matter if we have a collective pool, because everybody's benefiting from it. But until then, that's living in 5D. We're working towards that. What's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. What's mine is mine. What's yours is yours. Very good. Now you all look like stars inside of a really bright field of light. It's really cool looking. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Does anybody want to say anything? Does anybody want to have some individual questions, coaching, anything that is coming up from this? Is there anything that was not understood? Is there anything that I can make more coherent? Anything at all?
Hi, Eric.
Hi, April.
How are you?
I'm doing quite well.
Good. I'm sorry I couldn't come in for all of it. I had some things to do, unfortunately. Don't know what my frequency is like right about now. And I don't know if there's anything that you can do to spark it up, or
you're going to be getting
enough.
Well, you're going to be getting the actual session itself. It's going to be recorded so that you can go through this when you do have time. You know,
Okay.
and I mean, my problem is that I've got 5 kids and I can't do any of this stuff when they aren't in school. So, you know, that's why I kind of am relegated to times when most people are working and having to do things. But it's specifically designed so that we can operate in this live with the people who can, and then everybody else can get a recording of it too. So
Okay.
that's definitely something there. And you know, the thing is, just keep on practicing. It's not about trying to spark your energy. It's taking where you're at and recognizing that right here I can always feel better, and so I'm going to make myself feel better inside of this, and that's just going to start reaching out into deeper levels, and it starts opening up and it gets bigger and it gets more intense. And that's literally the name of the game. It's just you know, you step to where you can step, and then that will show you where the next step is at.
Okay, and do you have anything specific to strengthen the solar plexus? I know that I've tried some things and it'll go to a point, but then I can never really like close it off from other people attacking it. And if you could, I don't know if anyone else here has that same kind of situation, but if you could address that, that would be terrific. And thanks for everything,
Yeah,
Eric.
definitely. So there's actually a physical stretch. Here, let me demonstrate this real quick. So what you do is you put your hands behind your back, you interlace your fingers. Can you guys see that there? And you interlace your fingers, and then you roll your shoulders up, back, and then you press down. And this is going to pop out. See how the front of my chest is popping out right there? And then what you do is you poke your chin out,
Oh.
and then you lift it up, just like that right there. And what this does, you then take a big, deep breath into it, and you focus on stretching open the solar plexus, and you'll feel everything start to click and pop. Because what's happening more often than not when the solar plexus is blocked up energetically, there's so much tension. The ribs are getting cranked in like this, your
Right,
stomach's super tight, and you'll actually notice that you kind of curl over like this. It's because everything's
right.
pulling on the front right there. And so as we physically open that up and we breathe into that, what ends up happening is that's just a physical motion right there that will actually start opening up the energetic flow and give you strength inside of it. If you start doing the energy work, if you inhale laughter, if you inhale light, if you inhale sensations of stretching into those muscles that are tight right there, that'll actually start cleaning that out. And the thing is, like when we quote get attacked, it's nothing more than recognizing that there's dense energy that's hooked into the area. And so if
Oh.
you have a bright, clean flow, it's just like the sun. You know, like space is dark, and you know it's really a giant void. And yet the sun, you can't turn it off. It's always constantly shining, and that's what happens. It's all about just
Okay.
recognizing that when you feel that dense energy, that's an opportunity for you to go in and clean it out, so that you don't have to experience that anymore. And
Oh,
then,
great. Thanks.
you know, attacks aren't really even attacks anymore. They're just like, hey, thank you for showing me where I'm blocked up. You got to go now. Bye bye.
Yeah, I started looking at it that way too because I had to, you know,
Yeah.
I gotta, deal with a whole bunch of stuff. So I figured, hey, this is a good opportunity for me to get stronger. So
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out what I can do, not just to help me, but to help the other person too,
Well,
or whatever it is.
and the other thing that we've got to recognize is that like the more we do this right here, the more we recognize in the moment that these things are always going after whatever's reflecting inside of us that's the same type of a resonance. And so when we
Oh,
start
yeah.
to really say, hey, I'm going to clean out this entire resonance, it then stops the ability for people, or people specifically. We're like masters of black magic. You know, you think about somebody, you're like, that person, rawr. You know, that's literally black magic. You're energetically connecting in, and then you're sending nasty emotion at them. And it's a very dense vibration that then it hits inside of that person in a place where it has a place to hit. And then that person starts thinking about you, and you just kind of reflect these feelings back at each other. So when
Oh.
you actually start going in and cleaning out the emotions that you get whenever you think of that person, you can start pushing that light back. Just like I showed you guys how to move the light around you, you can start spinning it towards them, and you can clean out that whole dense connection that has, you know, their nastiness that's reflecting off of your nastiness. And then there's like a tube of energy connected in between. Then when you do that, the whole what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours thing, it's really easy. You feel them fly out of your field, and they just stop existing inside there anymore.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're very
And
welcome.
when is this video going to be available?
So it's got to download to the cloud, and then I have to put it onto my YouTube channel, and then I'll put that up in the frequency group. So it shouldn't be more than like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, okay, great. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks so much
You
for
are very
everything that
welcome.
you do.
You
Alrighty,
are very
take
welcome.
care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. All right, so who else do we have here? Needed to look up pictures. Anne says, I needed to look up pictures of platinum on Google Images. Are the pictures there the same color platinum that you're referring to? Let me go look real quick. So these right here, yeah, it kind of sort of gets into it. If you look at some of the jewelry, it's a lot brighter. The actual bars themselves, they look more like silver. This is along the lines of like if you took a piece of gold and then you looked at the sun with the golden sunlight. It's similar to that. So it's not like the metal frequency. That would be almost like liquid mercury that you're moving, which by the way is another another frequency that you can tap into. And there's things that you can do to actually start cleaning out heavy metal toxicity in your body if you start moving liquid metal energy through you. But this is almost like if we took a piece of gold and said that this is gold, but then we looked at the sun and said that's the gold that we're going for. This piece of metal is like a representation of it. Thank you all, very powerful. You're very welcome, Sharon. When my platinum and gold came together, it arced out and then entwined like lovers and made badly geometric shapes. They were made baddie geometric shapes. I don't know what that means, but they were happy to play together. Yeah, so that right, oh, baby geometric shapes. So that right there, the integration, that's exactly why I was showing you guys how to tap into both of them, because when you can start using them together, it's a frequency that's a lot more powerful than just one by itself. And yes, everything is inside of the golden frequency, but when we have specific resonances and strengths that we're turning on and opening up inside of that, what ends up happening is it's like we're multiplying. It's like we're taking this frequency, we're consciously tuning into it. We're taking this frequency, we're consciously tuning into it. Now it's like that times that equals that. And then if we take that and we add a frequency to it, then it can times it by that, which it's all exponential. It makes it so much more stronger. And when they integrate like that, you'll actually start seeing the way that the cymatics, the vibration frequencies of the universe, which by the way, we're going to get into later on down the line here. But when you start getting into those vibration frequencies right there, it's almost like you can tap into creation energies. It's like there's a flux that's happening that now you can take your awareness to wherever you find dysfunction and you can flux that energy, and it's like it destabilizes it, and it's much easier to then create what you want inside of it. So, you know, it's all about just using them, playing around with them, and just kind of stepping up to it. So, thank you so much. I can see so much possibility in healing. Thank you again. You're very welcome, Kate. Is there any chance you can display or send us a visual example of platinum? Again, if you look at the platinum metal itself, and then you tried to pretend like you're looking at a sun that has that frequency, that's the only way I know how to describe this. I might be able to find something. I'm not going to look for it right now. But if I do find something similar to what I'm talking about, I'll post it up in the group as well. Can you talk about monoatomic gold water? Is that okay to use? Honestly, I'm not really attracted to it. I've had Ormus a few times, and I never felt a difference in my side of my body. And honestly, my whole thing is that I try to prefer natural evolution over anything else. And so I might ingest something in order to find out that frequency or resonance. Like I might do some cannabis or some mushrooms or some peyote or something like that. But I'm not going to make it a habit, specifically because now that I know what it feels like, I can start creating those sensations and explore those frequencies inside of myself. And monoatomic gold, the whole thing is it upgrades your ability to move chi through the body, and you know, it's like a supplement that does something for you that I can naturally do on my own, and I find it's way stronger when I do it on my own. So I'm personally not drawn to Ormus, but there are people who I know and trust who swear by it. So you know, it's one of those things that I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. It's your metabolism, and if your body feels like it's beneficial, then it's beneficial for you. Mine tells me that it's not for me, so, but that's mine, so. I have a question. Can try by audio, otherwise I'll write it here. Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let me.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Hi, Eric. Thank you very much. This was, yeah, this was awesome and very deep. So I have these blockages or resistances in my neck and kind of like right shoulder that keeps coming back. Like they definitely feel less and less, but there's also this feeling of that I'm not really getting to the root of them. And so, yeah, I guess I guess it's like threefold almost this question. But first question is like, how would I discern if I want to work with like the muscular tensions versus the meridians?
So the muscular
yeah,
tension is
ahead.
the meridian flow itself. And what was the other question?
Well, yeah, if I would think like, okay, this is, for example, the bladder meridian, and I would like work on cleaning the whole bladder meridian versus
Yes.
going into the local tension at the neck, for example.
So you do both. In what you're thinking about right here, this is the perfect progression of where you need to be thinking. It's not a mind, a body, and a spirit. It is one place that you're harmoniously existing inside of. And so if you're blocked up on the meridians and you clean that out and you're still feeling tension, it's time to work on the musculature. One thing that's really standing out more than anything to me, like as soon as you started talking, this stretch immediately showed up. Just kind of place your hand behind your back right here. And see how I've got my hand on the other side? You can kind of lock it in so that it doesn't move over. And then just reach up and gently start stretching your neck. And you'll feel this all up the side. And try to keep your head straight forward so that you're not tilting it left or right like a no. And you'll feel that all in the side right there. And you feel that stretch?
Yes, indeed.
What I want you to do is take a deep, energetic breath right into where you're feeling all of that locked up right there, like you're trying to blow it up like a balloon. And on the exhale, drop the weight right into the gravity of the earth and just really start moving that around and see how that feels there.
Yeah, I immediately feel more chi flow in that area. So yeah, that is something I definitely can incorporate.
So
And so
I
when it
highly
comes
recommend,
to,
sorry, again, I'm cutting you off there a bunch of times. Go ahead, go
well,
ahead.
no, yeah. Okay, well, I guess I was also curious about like which ones of these I've been mainly working with, just chi flow and the smile, and then incorporating golden energy. And so when learning this as well, would you say that there's any one of this in particular that would be suitable for this, or how would I discern which energy I would want to work with these types of blockages?
So when it comes to musculature, it's almost like a deeper level of awareness that you have to go to. Like when you take a deep breath and you can feel your ribs and everything shifting and moving, it's almost like you want to go deeper than that. It's like you want to start making your energy start flushing in between the bones and the muscles, and then start stretching the muscles out. And so it's not even really a frequency. It's like a more intense sensation that you're trying to dig into. It's almost like you're recognizing where the muscles connect. Like say, for instance, the levator scapula, it connects right at the top of the shoulder here, and then, or the shoulder blade here, and then it connects in and it goes all the way up the side of the neck to hook back in here. And so when you know how the muscles work inside of the body and what they stretch over and where the pain is and how, you have these connections that they're here and here inside of the body, but you're feeling it right there, you want to start getting everything to let go. And when you start going in deeper on that level, like that, you're stretching and opening up a sponge and you're blowing it up like a balloon. It's like you're increasing your awareness inside of the body, and you're telling your body with that awareness, I'm going as deep as I possibly can into this tension because I don't like it. And this is what I want it to feel like. And the body just responds to it. It starts to recognize it. And if you can't get things to flow on the energy level, it's time to stretch, just bottom line. I actually highly recommend that everybody start looking up a beginning yoga routine and just going into the poses and finding a nice gentle stretch inside of it and start doing that energy work where you're inhaling the flow into where the muscles are tight and start releasing them on that level. So it makes the mind, body, spirit trifecta. It's like such a huge breakthrough when you start doing that. You're very welcome, Otto. Is there anything else?
Thank you. Well, I guess you were starting to say that you'd very much recommend, I guess, yeah, that was the practice maybe that you show me, or yeah, you were saying something that you were, yeah, highly recommend, and then I cut you off.
Oh yeah, so I highly recommend that you just start looking for beginner's yoga, something to where it shows you really simple, easy stretches, and start breathing into the stretch. It will open up so much more flow inside your body because blood is synonymous with chi and chi is synonymous with blood. And it's the tension inside of the muscle memory that pinches off the blood flow and blocks the chi flow. And so if we can get the muscles to let go right then and there, it's almost like you're bypassing the foundation of the blockage, and then all of a sudden there's flow. Does that make sense?
Right, right. Yes, yes. Fortunately, I have been practicing asana for about 5 years or so,
Perfect.
but it has definitely, gone to another level when I can incorporate, Dantian, smiling, and just chi flow. So yeah, I'll continue exploring that then. And you would say then, well, so how does, like, with these energies, the golden frequency and the platinum coming into example, if I would like play with these energies in a long held yin yoga practice, or is that more of stretching actually muscularly, or could I work with these frequencies?
So you can work with these in any direction. When you can do something actively, you can do something passively, and there's strengths that come to both sides there. So yin yoga, where you're like holding on to a pose, that is where you can actually start opening up energy centers. Like a horse stance. A horse stance is one of my easiest and favorite go-to positions, simply for the fact that within 5 minutes, my muscles are already rebelling against it, and they don't want to hang on to the pose anymore. And you can actually start inhaling into the lower dantian and do some very, very powerful expansion work inside of the lower dantian that starts to transcend into the physical. And so what I'll end up doing is I'll hold on to these poses and I'll start inhaling into the energy center until it's almost like I force through a conduit of chi flow. And then the chi is like magnetically holding me up, and I can relax into the pose and my muscles aren't holding it anymore. I've actually gotten my horse stance in a full-blown 90-degree angle bend, like a full sit. I think my record right now is 48 minutes. I almost made it to 50. And I was trying to get an hour, and then I got sick afterwards, and I wasn't able to do it again anymore after that. But it's all about recognizing that when you feel like you can do something, try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's not going to work. You learn something, So like,
Right.
yeah, there is no failure when it comes to this. It either works or it doesn't. And if it doesn't work, then you learn something. So, start using your failures as kind of like a corral to show you what not to do next time and how to do it right. And just start decoding the failures into how to get it right the next time. And, that way you never lose. You're always succeeding, or you're learning. So, and education's free.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, Eric. Love and blessings from Peru.
Very well. Thank you so much, Otto. All right, let's get you muted here. All right, so what is the Facebook name for the series? So it's the Frequency Exploration class. I think I'm gonna just actually send like a blanket email out again and get you guys all that information. We're gonna tell you what you need to know with like, we've got a 30-day buffer for the class on March 15th, and then there's a 24-hour buffer. Again, we're going to try to start integrating out of the Facebook group and more into the website itself. That way, for people who don't have Facebook, they can interact a lot more with the other people, which, there's not that many of them. But honestly, I'm feeling a really big shift coming from Facebook. We're all kind of stuck with it because we don't know what better to use. But, like we're all really kind of fed up with all the censoring that's happening and the way that they keep the algorithms out of people's feeds now. And so, there is going to be a shift, and honestly, I just want to have a place to where we can actually communicate and connect with each other, and we don't have to go through that. But as we're building that, we're still going to be using Facebook. Now, the Frequency Exploration group is where we're going to be placing these videos, and as well as the homework. So once this is uploaded, I'm going to actually write out homework for you guys. That way you can integrate it, you can feel this, and then a couple days from now, once this is up, you can go back through the meditation if you need to again. And then the homework's going to make a lot more sense. You can come back from it to it from a logical understanding perspective instead of just, right now we're kind of blown out on energy, and it's really kind of hard to bring the logical processes back when you experience these high levels of vibration unless you have practice opening up that mind, body, spirit communication like I have. And, it's going to be really easy for us to really start integrating in. So I'll give you guys the homework, and if I need to, I'll do like a Facebook Live for the video right there if we need to do some explanations. And then we're going to do about a week to a week and a half of the homework, and then we're going to take volunteers from the group for actual live coaching, and then we'll figure out a time and a date, and we'll do like a 45-minute, hour-long coaching to where I walk you guys through individually the things that you're having problems with, and then we find workarounds for it. That way everybody can benefit from that individual coaching right there. And we're just going to keep this going. We're going to try to do this every single day up until we shift into the new frequencies. And we're going to have throwbacks. We're going to, let's play around with this energy. Let's play around with that frequency. And we're going to see if we can combine these two right here. because once we start getting into the layers to where I can start showing you guys how to tap into like void space or sound frequency, like the hum of the universe energy, and we can start using those, that's when you can start layering them together. So like one of my favorite things to do is create a foundation of void space energy and echo frequency inside of it. And that creates a bright light that is on a different level than anything I've ever experienced before. And then I use that to start electrifying and creating electricity, and it cleans things out stronger and more quickly than anything that I've ever come into contact with. And you know, it's when you start layering these things together, that's when it all makes sense. And so you know, we're going to have all these videos in the group, and if you have any questions, that's what it's there for. I'm going to try to interact almost as much as I can in that group and just start, you know, leaving the rest of Facebook alone. It's like I'm so spread out right now in so many of the things that I'm doing that I really just can't give all of my attention to where it needs to be. And this right here is honestly what I feel is more important than anything. These frequency explorations, these are not going to just open up doorways for you guys. They're going to open up doorways for the entire planet. So this is where the attention needs to go. And I'm really excited about these. And thank you all so much for joining me. Now let's see here. Yeah, the Facebook group is up and running now. Nobody's really used it though. Nobody's even tried to get into it. Do you have videos we can purchase with all these wonderful stretches related to blockage in different parts of the body? These two just showed us are incredible. I'm new to all of this and my body really wants to move. That's actually a really good idea. I've never really thought of that before. I just do these in the moment as I see the blockage and I see the muscles where they're tight, and then I integrate the stretch from my, my kinesiology background. So that's actually a really, really good idea. Thank you. I'm definitely going to start putting that together. That is something that I never even thought of before, but that is totally, yeah, no, that's totally going to happen. Thank you for that one. All righty. So are there any more questions? Is there anything anybody else wanted to cover? I think you doing stretches videos is a fabulous idea. Really looking forward to it. Great idea. We can body prep with your stretches. Great idea. Yeah, that's actually a really, really great idea. I have never even put that together, but that, you know, where else would we find very specific stretches that are designed for the energy? Like, I'm literally the only person I know who's actually doing this right now. So, you know, if anybody else is out there who's actually doing it, for God's sake, please send me a link. I can't wait to see what other people are doing on this level too. But as far as I know, I'm the only one who's actually integrating it in like this. Yay, yay indeed, right? All right, so if there's nothing else, we're gonna call quits to this one right here. I'll have this frequency exploration class. This will be up in the group in a few days. And again, I'm gonna just put together a whole entire email, and we'll get all the information put together into one spot and get everything set up and ready to go. Again, the payments, they're all being centered around the 15th of the month, and it looks like the 15th is actually going to be our next frequency exploration class as well. Can you start by doing stretch videos on where the toughest blockages are? Well, that depends on actually the person. You know, you're different than other people. And so for your toughest blockage, it would be the solar plexus. For somebody else, it might be their neck or their legs or their spine. So yes, we can definitely do it where I find the biggest blockages are, but more often than not, it's actually the front side of the body where things are stuck. And like even the neck that we were dealing with Otto right there, that was actually this muscle that comes down and connects right here on the front side. And so we'll definitely start putting together a series of exercises around opening up the front side of the body. I think that's a brilliant idea. Thank you, Eric. Wonderful class. Thank you. Loved it. Thanks, Eric. You guys are very welcome. This was really fun. I'm super excited for these. And thank you so much for joining me. All righty. And bye-bye.